What is going on, guys? Check it out. Welcome to another long chopping it up podcast style video. This one I really want to talk about with my friend John Venus here because we have both been on YouTube for years and years. But if you guys don't know yet, this is John Venus.
What's up, everyone?
Yeah, man. Like literally we have been on YouTube together, like working together and stuff, talking together for like 2-3 years?
At least 2 years for I think 2.5 or
really
something.
long time.
Yeah.
So this video is going to be, it's really for like those of you who are grinding right now, trying to like figure out how you're going to be successful in whatever field it is, you know, business or just like college or working, whatever the hell it is. Like there's a lot of people out there struggling through whatever it is, trying to work through like that beginning stage, and that beginning stage is the hardest before it actually starts succeeding. So that's what this whole talk is going to be about, because we've both been on YouTube for a very long time, and in the beginning, nobody gave a damn.
Oh my god.
Nobody cared. So just enjoy this. It's going to be no edits, just us talking all the way through, and there's no structure. We're just going to go through and talk about whatever we think is relevant, and we just kind of riff, because we've had this conversation a few times now.
Right.
And we have so much to say about it. Dude, the first thing I just want to point out is I remember when you and I first started contacting each other, and I think you had like 2,000.
Yeah, about 2,000, I think. Yeah.
That's nuts to think about.
Yeah.
Because now we're talking about like, you know, my channel's like something like 110,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's mind blowing. Like even thinking about that number.
Yeah, man. Like imagine at that time when I had 2,000 subscribers, 100,000 was like, whoa, like praying to that guy. To
Yeah,
that
like
channel,
that's Donald Trump.
Wow. Yeah, like a really big channel right there. Like I was in awe of people who were able to build a following of 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. It was insane to me.
It didn't even seem possible.
Yeah.
Really.
And now it's like, okay, like we're here, but we it's so weird, man. Like how the perspective changes. Like,
yeah,
man, like now it doesn't seem like a big deal. It is a big deal, but it's hard not to take it for granted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like when I was at like 2,000, for example, 2,000 subscribers. Like we were watching my videos last night. I showed you my 2,000 subscriber giveaway and the 5,000.
That was hilarious.
And like when I hit those milestone marks, it was literally like I was hitting like 200,000, then 500,000 subscribers. That's how excited I was. Like I was like, there's 5,000 people. I would always be like, if you put 5,000 people inside of a room, that would be so many people. You know what I mean?
Man.
And I was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm never gonna stop with my consistency and making it better. So I know it's gonna keep growing, and eventually we're gonna be successful. Right. But at the same time, there was also like this like not like you don't believe in yourself, but it's just like it was such a huge goal that it was like that's gonna happen eventually, and it'll always be eventually.
Exactly.
Me, you know,
I mean, it's hard not to think that way when you're getting like 0 to 1 or 2 or 3 subscribers daily.
Oh,
you know, I remember that time. It wasn't that long ago. You know, it was like, you know, it's hard to keep motivated, but like just seeing 3 subscribers coming daily, but at the same time, you just like, I don't know, you just have to have that vision and like never give up is the most important thing. And, you know, just that is the thing that no one wants to hear, no one wants to talk about, is the long ass, you know, consistent grind that you have to be on without any reward in return. And that happens to everyone unless you're lucky and get a massive shout out or something. It pretty much happens to everyone, and that's a path of a lot of resistance, but it's always a path that will give the most back to you. Like the reward is massive.
With like what you're saying, like I remember getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subscribers a day. Right. And when you're getting like, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, like if you're like, okay, like I want this to be my living at the time, then that's really not that many subscribers, right? And if you look at it like that, if you look at it like, man, I need to be at like 100,000 subscribers or something eventually for this to be like something that can be more viable for my life, and then you look at how many you're at currently, you can get really discouraged really quickly. Right. So I think like when you are starting the beginning of like a long 3, 4, 5, 6 year journey that's going to amount to something large, you have to constantly like accept your victories and like really be proud and excited about them. Because even though in the grand scheme, you know, 30 days you gain 3 subscribers a day, you get 90 subscribers. It's not really that much, especially if you compare it to like, oh man, I was looking at Chris Jones and he had like billions of people watching him. But when you get excited about it and you're like, when you make it sound bigger to yourself, I feel like it's really motivating. Like, for example, like we're saying, we get 2, 3 subscribers a day. Then I would be like, okay, so then over the course of 30 days, that ends up being 100. And then over the course of a year, that's 1,200. So if I do this for the next 5 years, I'll have like 7,000 people watching each video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would just convince myself that it is going so well.
Yeah, I think that's an important aspect of it, just to like trick yourself into believing that, you know, a low number is good enough, that, you know, you don't need to be as big or as popular as this guy that has made it before, you know, just like be happy with the really small, you know, rewards and goals that you reach. It's really important, I think. And you have to trick yourself sometimes, because it's really easy to compare yourself with other people.
Oh my gosh.
And be discouraged. So you got to trick yourself to saying, you know, if you're doing better than you're doing yesterday, or you're doing better this week than, you know, 3 weeks ago, you're good.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things, actually, not so much in the past, but more so now, because there's a lot more successful people. Like, I think when we started, it was so long ago, you know. I started like 4 or 5 years ago. You started like 3 years ago. Like, when we started on fitness YouTube, there was really only a few like headliner people who you're like, oh, the biggest people are like boom, 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 boom. You named them all.
Right.
Now, a dime a dozen. You know, there's people that you've never heard of, and that you're like, whoa, that guy gets 100,000 views per video.
Right.
You know, but like you told me about the bodybuilder Misha, I just found out about him.
Right.
75,000 views per video. I never knew about him.
Yeah.
And yeah, like now I'll compare myself sometimes. Like I'll you know, I'm subscribed to all my friends and all the people who are on YouTube, and I'll be like, wow, dude, like this guy gets 70,000 per video. That guy gets 100,000 per video.
Right. Yeah.
And then like if you don't really like control how you're feeling, you start spiraling into being like, I put so much time in. Like I thought I was doing really well, but I actually only get like 10,000 or 15,000 per video.
Yeah.
Whereas if you told that to yourself, you had your 3 year ago version of yourself, your friend, you would be like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why are you so ungrateful? If I was getting 10,000 views per video, I put thousands of hours into each video."
Exactly.
Right? You know
ungrateful piece of shit.
Yeah. You'd hate yourself. You'd
Yeah.
You don't deserve a channel. I remember when I used to get like way low views. Like you and I know the hundreds. Like,
oh my god!
The grind going through 100, then you're like, now I get 200.
Yeah,
minimum.
exactly. Like I remember for like so clearly, because it wasn't that long ago. My biggest goal was to get a total view per video of 300, because 300 is when the view count stops on YouTube, like freezes, so you can kind of like, oh yeah, I guess it just froze there. So it's like a cool number to reach. So that was my goal for the longest time, to have at least 300 views per video. That was my like ultimate goal at the time. It wasn't long ago, but like, oh my god, it's so crazy to see how quick your perspective changes, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, like if I got 300 views on a video now, I'd be like, what did I do wrong? Like, what am I failing at?
I don't even know if it's like possible.
Yeah, I know, but just
some
like
people have to be really, really bad.
You're so right, man. The perspective changes so much. Yeah. And you remember like the comments that you would get? Like I would get 7 comments per video, and I was like, wow, man, there's a lot of people interacting. Like, when I put out a recipe, like I get a lot of opinions about it, you know? Right.
Yeah. Like we checked it out like a couple hours ago, one of my old videos, and it was like 2 comments per video and stuff like that. You know, it's so crazy, man. But yeah, like what I want to like talk a little bit about is because like people get extremely discouraged when they find out that it's a lot of work and it takes a long time. And now especially because everyone says, oh, it's too late now because there are so many popular people on YouTube Fitness. You know, it's too late. I should have started, you know, 4 years ago or something. But just realize that it's, you know, it is never gonna be, you know, a perfect time. You just have to start whenever. Like if you have a passion and you wish you did something 4 years ago, it's a good indicator that the next best time to start is right now. Okay, like yes, it would be better for you if you started 4 years ago, like obviously, but you know the second best time is right now, because there is no perfect time to start. You just got to start whenever you know you realize that it is what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it'll never be the perfect time, because the perfect time would theoretically be when you have a lot of people who are ready to watch you, and when your skills are amazing. And your skills are not going to be amazing until you've gone through the process of doing it over and over and over, building up your experience level and your skill level, and also slowly, gradually growing with an audience base. Because can you imagine if you just like imagine yourself when you first started videos, imagine you got 100,000 views per video. Like, how nervous would you be every single video?
That's crazy.
You would never be able to develop your own personality or anything, because you'd always have to be perfect. You know? And so that, like you're saying, like, I think if you have anything in your life that you want to do, you want to start a business, you want to start being a musician, you want to start acting, anything, not even just fitness or YouTube or anything, like, you got to start. And
realize that you're going to suck at it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Seriously, like we were watching some old videos before.
Yeah, it's funny.
And like, especially me, guys, like I don't consider myself a good, speaker right now, I'm a lot better than I was before. Like I was mumbling, I was whispering to the camera, like, so today I'm gonna show you guys the best way to, like with this really unconfident look, like the best way to track your macros on this this app called MyFitnessPal, and it was insane. Like the change, like, but that just because I wasn't good enough, or just because you aren't good enough, doesn't mean you shouldn't start. Because you have to start if you want to be good enough, because it's always a process. Of course, natural talent plays a role, but me, for example, is like a perfect example of this. Like, I'm not a talented speaker. I'm not good in front of the camera naturally, but I've taught myself, and I've really, really tried to, like, check myself, like study my own, body language and everything like that, my own, tones of my voice and shit like that, just to get better. Just realize that you have to start and you have to improve, and because no one is perfect. No one is like, no one gets like Oscar performances without practicing for years and years and years. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I used to like everything I've ever done that I've become good at. Like, for example, the first thing that was probably a significant amount of time that I put into it was like playing football or soccer, if you're American. And I sucked, man. Everything I've ever done, I sucked so bad at it. It was annoying, man, because like I was excited, I was fired up, ambitious. I put in effort, I put in energy, I put in hours on no matter what it was, and every time it would always suck. Like people would be like, oh yeah, like, you should fix this and this video, like, it's too long, or like if I was doing soccer, like, oh, you're not that good, blah, blah, whatever it is. But then you just get past that whole naysayer part, and you keep pushing, and eventually you build the skills no matter what. If you never stop trying to improve, like if you always look and analyze and then try to improve one part of whatever you're doing, eventually that surmounts to something huge. Even if you think it's so slow and like you see these other people, they're really good already, you just got to keep improving every single time. And then if you put that into a 5-year scale, every day you're trying to make a better thing, after 5 years, I guarantee you're going to be excellent at whatever that is, singing or whatever, acting. It's going to be so much better.
Yeah, man.
I think people get discouraged way too quickly when they first start, and like you get those comments that are negative, like, "Oh man, you're so like boring to listen to,"
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point that you touched upon, because people will hate you. Like people will try to put you down because you're trying to do something different than you previously did, or something that they maybe wish they would try, or something like that. So you will get hate, you will get like bad comments, and people want to support you, but that is something that you can't allow to affect you personally. You just have to look past it. It's hard in the beginning. A lot of people take things way too personally, but it's the internet, guys. Like everyone is like a part-time troll, so just got to get past that.
Yeah, when you're an amateur, it's very, very hard because like, especially if you're in the public eye, if you're doing whatever it is and it's in the public eye, so people can constantly review you and stuff, there's obviously always, because you're not the first person that was born, there's always somebody, well, usually in most fields, there's always somebody who's doing it already that's professional or better than you, has an audience or whatever. It's kind of like the bar, that people are used to seeing, and this is standard, right? So when you start making YouTube videos, for example, and there's already like Ogus and Christianos, all these people who are making like legit videos, they kind of figure out their workflow, how they put up videos. It makes you a try-hard. Like,
exactly, yeah.
Like you're a wannabe because you aren't good at it yet, but you're trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people get discouraged, and then they're like, oh yeah, I shouldn't be a wannabe. And then they see other people who are like, you're a wannabe. That's stupid. If you're not good, then you should just do it. But if you don't,
that's happened to me. It's happened to you as well, right?
So much, man.
A lot.
So much. My whole come up. Everyone thought I was just such a dumbass kid, bro. It took so long to get respect from people, but I never accepted it. I was never like, okay, yeah, I am. I should probably stop doing this or that. I was like, fuck that. No, like F you, bro. And like that sucks that you hate it, but I don't really give a damn. I'm gonna keep trying. I would put up like certain like I'd put skits up on my comedy channel. And it sucked, man. But I would just keep getting better and better at production and stuff.
Yeah.
And now like for example, to put it into perspective, if you take those same hater people that like, if you could somehow like pull all those people from my old comments 4 years ago and put them into a video now, they would be like, this is so great. You can't deny that like it's actually great footage. Or like I create videos for CT Fletcher. Like obviously I'm not shitty, or he wouldn't pay me to make videos.
Exactly,
for him. You know what I mean? Like I hate the fact that people who are being negative to other people will discourage them enough to just completely post haste stop.
Yeah, I mean, the same people who did hate you before, like you said, they would think things are awesome right now, like you said. And it's crazy how just because all of a sudden, you know, even if you're better, all of a sudden you have an X amount of subscribers or whatever, X amount of views per video, and then all of a sudden they like suck up to you, oh, you're amazing stuff, and other people want to collaborate with you, where they started ignoring you and like thought you were fucking stupid before, and now they're all nice to you and stuff like that. And it's crazy how, you know, people just like don't respect people who are at the bottom. And once you reach, you know, some sort of level of success or accomplishment, everything changes and everyone wants to be your friend. And oh my God, it's like, it's one of the things that I really dislike about, you know, how you know, the world works, like how people work like normally. I mean, this is only a small percentage of people, but it still happens quite a lot because it's just the way it is, man. And I don't enjoy it, but it's fun to see, you know, the change of opinion that goes into just because of the number of a certain, you know, subscriber.
You could say the same exact thing with 100,000 subscribers compared to when you have 5, and people will respect and comment and be like, wow, that was really inspirational and stuff when you're at 100. But they'll be like, that was so stupid. That wasn't inspirational. Why are you trying so hard? You look stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you made a good point. Like, a lot of people will, like, they won't respect you until you have a lot of views, and then they get a lot of views, and they won't respect other people. I think it's kind of cool that both of us, like, because we both have come up slowly, so we understand the grind. We understand putting up videos, nobody watches, but you have to do it because you need to have a consistent schedule so people can see that you every 3 days put up a video, things like that. We have, like, I think a deeper intrinsic respect for other people who are going through that same grind on YouTube. So like, you and I don't, I see this happen a lot. I see a lot of YouTubers get to certain scales of new, like, milestones. They'll hit 50,000, and then they won't interact with anyone who has less than 50.
Exactly, man.
And 200,000, and 1 million people will only play with 1 million people. But I've, like, recently, like, not even long ago, like a couple weeks ago, you gave a shout out to, I think, Vegan Hustle.
Yeah, Vegan Physique.
Vegan Physique.
Yeah.
Vegan Physique. And, like, that's, you know, I think like 1/4, 1/5 of the amount of views you get. Yep. And it doesn't really help you at all, but you understand, like, the hustle, the grind, and you want to help them out. Like, I think it's important to, like, to never get, like, an ego.
Yeah, and don't get ahead of yourself. Like, and it's very hard, like, you know, there's a reason why everyone who's a big channel, like, has this ego. You know, it's hard when you have this amount of followers and you've worked hard to get there, and now you're like, yeah, man, I'm the man. I've gone through it, and I've earned this shit, and no one else is gonna mine. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to collaborate with me? Come on, man. You have to work hard like I did. Yeah. You know, that's how it is right now. It's like you cannot collaborate with someone with a lot of, you know, subscribers ahead of you. And I tried when I was a small channel. I reached out to some people. It didn't work. And I was like, okay, you don't want to, you know, talk to me now. You think I'm stupid now. I'm not going to talk to you later either, because, you know, I'm still the same person I was before. The only thing that's changed is my level of success, my subscriber number, and, you know, my outlook on life, obviously, and stuff like that. But I am still the same person. And if you didn't respect me then, why should I respect you now?
It's a fake respect at that point. You know, like, oh, you have a lot of views. Oh, yeah, man, I've loved your channel. Like, oh, man, you're such a cool guy. Like, yeah, you want to come with this? It's like none of that came from any sort of anything except literally looking at your view count or your subscriber count. And, like, that's the worst type of respect to have. Like, that's not respect. That's a fake, like, a mask.
Exactly, man.
Because, like, if I see somebody who's, like, smaller, like, much smaller, and it literally will not help me at all now or in the, like, it's not going to help me. But I like their production, or I see something that I used to do that's in them, you know. I just want to support it because I understand, like, the hustle and grind. But also, I think this is really cool, man. I've always like, you were kind of talking about this earlier when you first came in. You're like, yeah, you know a lot of people, man. It's weird how many people you know. I just like being friendly to people. Like, I would rather be more nice and get less out of it to somebody than being less nice and using less of my energy and, like, you know, like, not playing with certain people because it won't help me out and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not big on, like, strategizing over who I'm going to be friends with.
Right.
I just choose people that I think are, like, very similar to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, we could be friends. We end up being friends. And then, like, for example, like, you and I, like, I didn't think we were ever going to collaborate. You, like, live in the other side of the planet, and, like, I don't even know whether you know. So I was just like, yeah, we're just chatting because we make similar videos, and it's kind of cool, like, to know someone else is doing this, but it's not going to help either of us.
Yeah.
But now you look at this, and, like, I feel like you always have to have that long-term idea when you're an entrepreneur. You have to have not short-term thoughts. You can't have impulsive thoughts. You have to have both. You have to have like that long-term sight of what it could be, because now like this collaboration honestly is great for both of our channels.
Right, it is.
Very niche audience, and it's very similar, and it's great.
Yeah, and thank you guys for all the positive comments. It's been amazing. Like all of you are like psyched that we're together. Just want to take a second to thank you guys for
that's really cool.
all the support. It's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate seeing you guys over on his videos and Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
And like Team Beyond the Week up in here. I love John V. This is super cool, man. It's good to see your friends like do well.
Yeah,
like
it's more rewarding than seeing yourself succeed, in my opinion, sometimes.
Absolutely, bro. Like when I see LP get like a new 1,000, like, you know, minimum is like now 2,000 or 3,000. Like I get so much more excited than if, you know, I get to 15,000 minimum. I'm like, exactly. LP's got it. He's getting all motivated now. He's got people watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's two types of people in the world. I think there are people who are literally just looking out for themselves, and they'll do things to be friendly with other people that will help them in the long run. But then there are people who are just genuinely interested in helping everybody and like seeing their friends succeed and stuff. And I feel like that is such a more rewarding scheme.
It is for sure. And unfortunately, there is a lot of, you know, the other kind of person that you're talking about out there. And, you know, I would just want to touch upon one thing as well. Like, it might sound like we've only been doing this for a very short time. And, you know, Brian says we've been at it for like, 3 years, 4 years or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, it's not like we've had a decent following for 4 years. This took a long time to get, you know, even to the first 300 subscribers. So make sure that, you know, don't be discouraged. Just be in for the long run. Don't be afraid of... if you're in a bad living situation, don't go into YouTube or do whatever, or entrepreneurship or starting a business or whatever to be rich or to be famous. You can't have that mindset, because that's not going to happen, and certainly not within 6 months or something. No. It's going to take a long time. You don't go in for the money. It's the worst thing you can have, because then you won't have the like passion for it that you need to stick at this path for a long time and ultimately succeed. And you can't just look at things for money and stuff like that, because, you know, especially this like YouTube and stuff, it was easier a couple like 6 years ago to get some ad money and stuff like that. But right now, guys, if you're considering opening a YouTube channel to get money, I got bad news for you. It's not, you know, not even close to, you know, being able to survive and live off of that money, even with a channel of my size. Yeah, that's a good ass point. If your motivation is literally being sourced only from how much money you've made off your ads, how many sponsors you're getting put into your stuff, how many like subscribers you've added, like if you're like literally only rewarded by success and you have no fire that's based off of literally just knowing that you're going to be consistent and nothing can stop you, because that's how I was, man. Like, and I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to show you guys like the difference between like when we got 0 views, but like our motivation was still high. Yep. Like for 1 year, I put a video up every single day. And for that entire year, each video was getting so little views, and it was the same people watching every day. So it wasn't like I was hitting new people. I was growing very little from doing all this extra effort. But I had like made this guarantee to myself, and I also wanted to be known for committing and then doing what I'm saying, instead of just being like, oh no, I didn't get rewards, so it's not really worth it. Like, I feel like I was almost proving something to myself that like, if I can do this for a year, then I'm not going to stop for 5 years. I'm going to continue doing YouTube for my life. And if I can do it for a whole year, then there's no doubt I can do it for my entire life. I feel like you have to build intrinsic motivation, not extrinsic motivation. If you extrinsic is like externally from yourself, you know, money coming in, people telling you that you're cool, people texting you, people following you on Instagram, now you get likes on your stuff. That's extrinsic. But if you have intrinsic, that's the most infinitely powerful thing you can ever have, because nothing in the world stops or inhibits you or changes your outlook. You're still always fired up for it. Of course, the extrinsic motivation helps even more, but until you have that internal one, you can't build the external motivation. Yeah, exactly. It's right on, man. Like, I'm all fired up. Sorry, bro. I'm sweaty now, dude. Jeez. Yeah, no, but it's really fun to talk about this, because we've never, I personally almost never talk about this, and people in my subscribers' eyes, I guess, like, oh, this is a guy who just blew up and is like successful YouTube channel, whatever. But no one sees the grind, and it's really, you know, the long ass time with 0 views And I think it's really cool to share that with people and to just, show that we're not like, some sort of superheroes who just magically, one day just woke up with 100K subscribers.
I feel like if I was watching this and I was kind of in the beginning of my journey, then hearing that we have been at this for 5, 4, 3 years, I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to feel discouraged in 6 months. 'Cause I'll get that. I'm sure you do too. I'll get that message or comment from people, and they're like, "Dude, I've been really, really grinding for like 6 months. Is there anything I'm doing wrong? Like, can you like shout me out and stuff like that?" And like, of course, there's things that I give them feedback, and I'm like, "Oh, you should make the video a little shorter, better thumbnails and stuff." But at the same time, like, you're doing nothing wrong. Like,
it's the way it is.
Just grinding. And I'd say one thing that helps, if you're not going to just blow up off a viral video or like shout outs or something like that, is people like to see that track record. You know what I mean? Like before I shout something out, like for example, if I'm going to start a second channel on YouTube, before I go mention it to my main channel, I'm not going to have one video up on the second channel and then be like, okay guys, I'm starting a new thing. It's a video game channel or whatever, a comedy channel. I always say, like, I like to create like a landing pad for them, you know what I mean? So like by the time they get there, they see that you already have a track record of being consistent, so then they can subscribe because they know that you're not going to waste their subscription or their time. They can count on you to be there. You know what I mean? And so I feel like even though you feel that each video you're putting up is not getting you extra views or it's getting you very small amount of subscribers, there's also a lot of other hidden things that it's unlocking and doing for you that people will respect and will in the long run really help you out. For example, when you look at my channel, you'll see that it has 700 videos on it. And even if you don't know who I am, you just found my channel 1 minute ago, you know immediately I've been around for a long ass time. Like I'm established because there's no way I could put up 700 videos. And then you also, the other thing like I'll do when I was watching YouTube channels before is I'll go to their video tab and then I'll see when the last videos were up that they put up. So I'll be like 1 week, 2 weeks.
Exactly, that's
3
important.
weeks. Okay, they put one video up a week, or I'll be like, oh, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day. So then you can count on it because you can see like for months they've been doing that. It's gonna keep happening. I feel like that's super, super valuable. And a lot of people don't like value that stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of people starting out in YouTube are way, way, way too impatient and just they expect other people to help them too much, and they will direct message you like, oh, hey, please give me a shout out. I really, really would love to. I'll do anything for it, It's like, it'll be a dream come true. Please. Yeah, I'll pay you. How much would it cost? And when I look at this, it's like, it's not like I lose respect. It's just like, I just feel that this person has kind of lost the vision and is doing it for the wrong reason because they're not willing to put in the work and the time. And I love helping other people. I love watching small channels get bigger.
Yeah.
And
it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. But, if I'm going to help someone, I need to know that they believe in themselves and they're doing it for the right reasons. They have to be doing consistent uploads. They have to be, trying their best to improve. And then, I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah. Like I can definitely give this person a boost because this person actually really deserves it and he's having a little bit of a hard time. So I'm going to help this person out. But if someone comes to me with, 5 videos uploaded and says like, yeah, I just started a channel. I'm putting so much effort. I'm trying my 100%, man. I'm doing everything I can, but I just can't seem to, progress forward. I'm like, you're not doing shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
There's so many comments like that for me.
Absolutely. Like I said with the track record thing, like, show me that you're working really hard. Don't show me that 5 videos is working hard. Show me that when I shout you, it's not going to be wasted and then your channel's just going to stop and I like gave all this, like told people to go over there and I'm what do you call it? Vouching. I'm vouching for this person and then they just stop making videos.
Yeah.
Because I've done that a few times. And not to oust anybody, but I feel like it's a good time to drop a name because some of you guys from my channel actually do remember this and I love the guy. Like I legit am a really good friend with this kid. I still talk to him. But Matt Major, I gave him a shout out. I gave him like a bunch of shout outs. He flew down here. I put him in a bunch of videos. And the reason I did it was literally like he didn't have any views. I just thought his production was really cool. Meanwhile, people were like, man, he's putting a lot of editing in. I think this is dope, man. Gave him this big shout out. Gave him like 4 videos. Got him at the time, which was a lot of views and subs. But now it'd be like not that much. But and then he just stopped making videos. And like that's discouraging for me to shout another person out. Like each time that happens, I'm like, now I'm a little bit even more, my parameters for shouting someone out are even farther away. I'm like, okay, now you got to prove it even a little bit harder and stuff. So like prove yourself before you start asking people stuff for handouts and stuff.
Definitely.
Because then they'll be like, you know what? This guy's been on here for a year and he gets under 100 views. I got this guy. You know, I want to see this guy get what he well deserves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I know we've gone through like a lot of what we like have had in the past, but I think it's kind of fun to talk about where we came from, man.
Yeah.
Do you remember like making your Instagram? Like, I don't know how long ago you made yours, but I made mine 3 years ago, and I have like 1,900 posts on it.
Yeah, I made mine 3 years ago as well.
How many likes did you get for like the longest time? Like,
I don't know. I just like copied the most popular hashtags and pasted on every
too.
video to get like a minimum of 25 likes per post, you know. And so it looks okay, but in reality, if I removed all those tags, it'll get like, I don't know, 10 likes or something.
Yeah.
And that was a long time. Like, to be fair, my Instagram like grew pretty quickly in the beginning, but it didn't help with anything. It's like kind of like a, I don't know, just empty followers for some reason. I'm not sure exactly what I did, but you know,
They're just looking at the abs.
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, but for the longest time, it didn't help me at all, and it's been stuck. You know, it was stuck for on like 10K for a long time, and I don't know. I just remember it was bullshit.
Yeah, for me, man, it took eternity, like literally, and I'm very machine like in the way that I do things. I eat the same thing every day. I do the same things every day. Like if I'm gonna like try to grow this, I'm gonna grow and I'm gonna hit these whatever. I would do the same actions all day, every day. So like for my Instagram, I would always put up 3 posts every single day. I would never fail on this. It was every damn day, and it would be the morning, the afternoon, and the night, of course. And even with that consistency and stuff, it took me 2 years to get to 100 likes per photo, and that blew my mind because that like had then hit 3 integers, 3 numbers, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I finally hit 100, man. I'm actually a little bit of a hitter now on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? And the point of that is just like that whole 2-year period, 365 days, multiply that by 3, like 369, like, dude, pretty much all of my posts had gotten nothing. Like I'd say about 10% of my posts now, like out of all the posts I've ever put up, 10% are now what you see now, where you're like, wow, that's really cool. He gets like 1,000-ish likes. But all that rest of that 90%, you could scroll down to a certain point in my Instagram and you'll be looking, you'll be like, why does this have 90 likes? And then why does this got 20? Now I got 7 likes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it's really cool to see the origins and where you start off with the really bad camera, like really bad, you know, like for me, for example, I wasn't in too great of a shape. Like there was a big difference, and it's really cool to like see the progression. I think it helps people to see, oh, this guy actually didn't just blow up from nowhere. It's cool to see the track record and see, you know, the origins of each person. I think a lot of people who are already made it.
whatever that means.
Yeah, exactly.
It gets farther away from you as you get closer to it.
Exactly. They all try to hide it too much. Like they would privatize videos, delete videos because it's, you know, it was stupid. They feel self-conscious, makes them feel like they were once, you know, less of a person or whatever.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's very important to actually show people that, you know, you're a real guy. You're just like everyone else. You're just like, you know, motivated to make things happen, and you want to show the whole journey, because to me anyways, the journey is always more exciting than the end result, because it means a lot more.
Because I can go on your channel right now, click oldest to newest.
Exactly.
And what is that oldest video?
I don't recommend anyone doing that, by the way.
Do it. Go. I want to see a bunch of comments on his oldest crappy video. I'm like, oh. Yeah, and I do the same thing. Like, and I even had that thought back when I was making those videos. I was always like, I'm gonna leave all of my videos up, no matter what, even the ones where I like maybe I say something a little bit like stupid or wrong or something, like, you know. I like guarantee that it's this way, but then I found out later that it's this way. You know what I mean? I'll keep it up because I want people to see. Like, I think it's encouraging to be like, instead of being like, I don't want to present myself as the coolest. I don't want to present myself as the best of me. Having that long track record, when people can go back and look at how crappy your composure was, charisma was on camera, it's cool, because then when they are making their video and they're looking at it and they're like, oh man, I talk so bad. I'm so crappy at this. Maybe because they can go look at yours where they're like, I talked better than at his first video.
Yeah.
And now I think he's a great speaker. They can be like, okay, I started where he's starting.
Yeah.
I can obviously make it to where he is now because he's obviously advanced.
Exactly. And the same kind of thing that we're talking about, applies to everything. Like, it's not about YouTube subscribers and progressing as a YouTube channel. This applies to everything.
Yeah.
Like, in general, in school, work, whatever you want to achieve, it's always the same formula. It's a very simple formula, but it's very, very hard to stick to because it needs consistency, motivation, and
experimentation.
This fire that never burns out. You have to have this fire, this passion, because nothing else will keep you going. Because if you only look at the results, you'll get discouraged immediately. But if you keep that fire alive inside you, like, so it burns you up from the inside, you will make it at some point. You will make it happen. It's not working right now. I don't care if it takes 1 year or 2 years or even 20 years. I'm going to do it anyways. And I promise to myself that I will do my best to make it happen. If it doesn't happen in the end, at least I gave it my all. And I think if that mindset is what, the mindset that you choose to have, you will have a lot more success because, you'll have what it takes to give yourself the chance to succeed.
And push through all that time period where it's just grinding and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Experimentation, man. I think, so a lot of people, I'll get this comment a lot where people are like, wow, man, it's crazy how fast you became popular on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You blew up so instantaneous. What's the secret to how you just came out of nowhere and blew up? It's like, yo, you and I have been lurking in the damn shadows, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
People didn't see us or anything because we're in the damn shadows putting out content that nobody could buy, nobody could see, none of that crap, right? So like they only see really the last whatever amount of months that you started coming up because that's how they found you, is when you were getting more views from whatever the hype videos were or something like that. So they completely disregard that full 4 or 5 year period where you were making all that stuff. And I'd say the reason that it now looks like, both of our channels or whatever have started coming up like all of a sudden you came out of nowhere is because of that experimentation. If we had continued doing what we were doing when we were getting hundreds and 200s of views, obviously something wasn't hitting right. Something wasn't working and it wasn't organically growing us enough. So we kept trying different series, different video ideas, trying to do like production, trying to do talking videos, trying to do educational videos, trying to do skits, like all that. So you have to keep trying. And then you find out like for example, one thing that worked for me, just like a small thing, like a series that I started doing is full day of eatings. I didn't know that was such a valuable thing, so I never really like capitalized on that. And then those were the videos that were getting the most views. So I experimented, saw that it worked, and then capitalized. I was like, I'm going to make one every week from now on.
Right.
And that's helped massively. Then my other experimentation was the whole acne thing. Like I was a fitness channel up to that point. And then I was like, because honestly, I didn't start the Accutane for myself. I was fine with my acne. Like, even though I had freaking tons of it and it was just everywhere and like everyone was like focusing on it, it wasn't really for me. I just knew that people wouldn't watch my videos and pay attention to the things I was saying unless I had gotten the acne off. Because it was too hard for them to not focus on my acne and then type like, oh yeah, dude, your acne needs to get better or whatever. Instead of being like, oh cool, you're right, yeah, hypertrophy works better this way or that way, right? So I just got rid of my acne so that people would pay attention to the content. But then I found out that by documenting my journey, I was reaching this whole new audience where I was trying to hit just general fitness, but it was already like saturated and there wasn't enough people that wanted to see me yet. Yeah. So then I hit a different niche audience. Like, that is so powerful, is finding something that makes you unique, because there's a million freaking 20-year-old dudes who are yoked, who have abs, who go to the gym on a constant basis, who sleep well and don't drink, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the drab. Everybody does that. Yeah. But when you add something that's spicy to you, when you add that exoticness to you, like like now we're both vegan. That makes us a very exclusive commodity comparatively to the 9 billion other vegan 20-year-old dudes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So as you go, you just find those niches, and I think that's so powerful, is to find how you can set yourself apart from other people and create an audience that's more so like they have to come back to you because your content is so designed for what they want to see. A vegan bodybuilder who had acne, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if some kid has acne and he's bodybuilding and then he decides to go vegan, who else are you going to watch?
Exactly, yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when you can capitalize a market and make it so that you are the only person in that extremely small niche, even though that niche is much smaller than the wide audience, hitting that niche and growing in that niche will allow you to break into that wider audience eventually.
Exactly, yeah.
And then people will be like, wow, you came up so fast. How are you a superstar?
Right. No, that's definitely a smart way to look about it. And I think The biggest mistake everyone that is looking to start on YouTube makes is trying to copy someone else and do something that someone else does. And I'm guilty of this. When I started, I was making those stupid ass vlogs showing, how much chicken I was eating, showing my curls and stuff, and really simple stuff. But if you copy people, like why would they choose to watch someone with 5 subscribers that is doing the exact same thing that someone who's doing the exact same thing with 500,000 subscribers? Like, why? You have to give a reason for someone to come over to your channel. You just have to. You can't be the same as anyone else. You have to experiment, try different things. And even if you're doing kick-ass videos with amazing editing, I don't know, like flashy, transitions and cool
scoring
music,
it all really well. Yeah,
exactly. Slow motion with a fucking good 5D Mark III. It doesn't mean that people are gonna watch you, because you have to have that little base before your video even has a chance to climb the algorithms on YouTube. So don't be discouraged, even if you're making the best quality videos that you can and you're not getting any views, because that's just the way it works.
Yeah, content, like having the actual content before you create the production of whatever the content is a lot better. Like, why would you want to drink the generic brand soda if the famous soda is the exact same price?
Exactly.
You wouldn't. You'd be like, but then you add something to it, and so now your generic soda has a cherry twist, and then people are like, oh man, the cherry twist generic one is way better than just a regular Coke. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's so valuable to have something that makes you different and unique.
Yep.
And you can succeed doing the exact same thing as someone else.
Of course, there is nothing wrong to emulate, like see what they're doing and then like kind of like try to, in a way, do it the same, but you still have to have your own twist on it. You can't succeed by doing exactly the same thing. You have to be smart about it. If you want to emulate someone's, success, you have to do it in your own way.
Yeah, take inspiration, don't carbon copy.
Exactly.
Because when you carbon copy, you're not able to be you, so you'll never advance your own personality, and then you'll come off unauthentic, non-genuine. It's weird when you hit that point where you finally feel way, way more comfortable on camera. You're acting really, really closely to how you act off camera. People it's like body language. Most people don't understand it, but they receive it, and they that's like, it actually affects how they perceive your conversation, how they perceive you and stuff. So when they can see that you're genuine, you're authentic, and you finally are to maybe take an inspiration from this guy's video. You're like, oh, I like that little swoosh thing. And take an inspiration from this guy. Oh, you did a cool fade in. I never thought about fade ins. Oh, that guy did slow motion. I should better add some slow motion. But it's still, you take those inspirations and then you funnel them into your personality, and then you exude, this new inspired, but still your personality. You're like handing this cake off to them, but it's still you. And people can consume that a lot easier. Of course, like, dude, I can name 50 million channels who are doing that emulation thing, but that's not at all them. It's not who they are.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's a super important topic. Is there any other points that you want to make about this? I mean, we could probably talk for 8 hours.
For me, this is just scratching the surface. I could talk about this for a week without, stopping at all. There is obviously everything about the, channel related to, earning money and, becoming self-sufficient, like, earning enough to survive, all that kind of stuff that we could go into, but I think it'll take way too long. So we better just stick to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that the takeaway message for this podcast, in my eyes anyway, it's, if we can do it, anyone can, because it's just about, trying enough and sticking it out. And I realize that a lot of people don't even have the opportunity to do that. You got kids, you got, things that you have to take care of. You can't just not earn money for 2 years at all and see what happens. I understand that a lot of people can't take risks, and it's unfortunate, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. If that is your dream, you have to find a way to make it happen. It doesn't mean that you have to take our way or someone else's way. You have to find your own path, because that is like, you are the only one who will actually find the right path for you. No one else can do it for you, because it's different. We're all different. It's really hard for us to tell anyone exactly how to do things, because things always change all the time.
And you never make the excuse that you don't have time to add more hustle to your grind, because everybody who's become a successful entrepreneur from coming up from having nothing has had to take care of their daily needs, their work, their school, their kids, their dog, their cleaning, blah, 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 their physique, and then had to also smash in extra time to build up their clothing brand, to build up the connections, build up your musical skills, build up whatever it is. And it sucks because you're going to trade all that time that you have to relax at the end of the day when you get home and have dinner and watch TV. You know what? You just make that dinner, shove it in your face, and forget about the dinner time that you were going to take. Eat that shit in 5 fucking minutes and then get started on whatever grind it is. Even if you have 45 minutes, if you work 45 minutes every single day of 7 days in a week, you're getting an extra 5 hours of work put into whatever it is you're trying to build. And that's 20 hours every month.
Exactly.
And that's huge.
Everyone has 45 minutes a day, right?
Yeah, right. You can always work on entrepreneurialism because that is what it is defined as, is creating something on top of what you're currently doing until that thing that you created can then take away some of that other stuff you have to do so you can spend more time on this little growing monster. And then that growing monster then takes over all of that stuff, and then you can spend all of your time on it. That's the definition of what it is. You start from nothing and force it, and then it eventually becomes something that's actually applicable and like viable for you to spend your time on. I can get so heated on this topic, bro. I have like so many damn things I want to say. I almost want to make a part 2 because it's so freaking.
No, there's so much more we could go into, man. It's so much more. But you got to keep the audience hungry.
Right, babe? So I think that's a good time to stop. Even though, like I said, I have 10 things. I'm sure you got 10 things you want to say right now. But if we don't stop now, we will never ever stop.
Yeah, no one does cardio that long, right?
That's a good point. Yeah, right. People are watching this during cardio. If you did enjoy this, please, I beg, I implore you to please go check out John Venus. Not only because, you know, you're vegan and you want to see vegan stuff, which is also a great reason if you are a vegan and a bodybuilder, like this is the other guy that does that. But also just in a lot of different ways, me and John Venus have discovered that we're very, very similar, a lot more so than I really thought was going to happen. I mean, we're very similar, like physiques. I think our grind, like our work ethic is very similar. Our goals are very similar. Like a lot of stuff is very similar. So I think you guys will get a lot out of following him. And if you like me, I think that like we're so similar that you will pretty much like him as soon as you come over. Like production out of 10, bro. Like you put time into your videos.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I appreciate that. I respect that because, you know, back in the day, I didn't see anyone putting production in. It was really like I thought I was the only one. And then I found out about you. And then I was like, yes, one other guy is spending 6 hours a day editing freaking videos. Yeah. You know, so I don't know. I just have mad respect for him. And if you got mad respect for me, show some respect to him. So check his channel out. Subscribe if you do like it. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. At any point in this, you thought there was something you wanted to add, you want to join in the conversation, leave that comment down below right there. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Team Beyond the Week.
CT. Lift heavy or die, MIRIN, motherfucker.